can have James.
Take note of second schedule from themselves, being their own, share their own information. So these things have to be within a certain section. Yes, we are. The crisis is there.
Today we are here as the National PBS Consortium for a meeting that is taking place in 5 counties across the country. The purpose of this hybrid meeting or hybrid conference, as you are aware that on 14th of May this year, the government commenced the PBO Act. And if you look at the Act very critically, especially in the 3rd schedule and in the 5th schedule, there are clear timelines or there are clear responsibility or roles or functions that the government was supposed to do. So we are today just to take stock and ask ourselves, has the government met its commitment or fulfilled its commitment or not? So this meeting is being followed up by delegates physically from Kisumu, which has brought people from the Lake Victoria North region, from Taita Taveta, here in Nairobi County. We also have in Wajir County. We also have in Migori County. And from our assessment as a sector, we are finding that there are several issues that are taking place around the PBO Act that should be worrying us. One, the Act is very clear about the federation, that the former council becomes the federation. That's what the Act says. And the Act says that the former council, in transiting to the federation, will complete the remainder of their term. So the question is, this Act was commenced in 2013. So when they're talking about the council, which council are they talking about? Are they talking about the council that was there in 2013 or now? Which term are they talking about? Is it a term which was there in 2013 or now? The same to the authority. So what we are saying is that there are clear gray areas that need to be looked at. You look at issues to do with function of the authority, registration, the registering organizations, and you find that specifically section 42 talks about the authority should be independent and cannot get directions from anyone, including government. But from the current transited authority, we see them still acting as if they are prefects on behalf of government to punish PBOs. So we are saying that the authority also, as currently constituted, cannot actually ensure that we attain the objective of this act with the self-regulation. And that's why we are also saying as the NPC that we need to have an interim federation to be put in place, because there are several factions of the federation. Who has transited? The authority itself. We have people who are appointed in the old act. The CSOs went to court in 2015, 2016. The courts pronounced themselves that the actions that were being done by the board were illegal because they are illegal in office. The current federation, the current authority, as currently constituted, do not have the capacity to ensure that the visions and the missions and the objectives of the act are attained. And we are saying that the government has failed in its responsibility. This should be a wake-up call to the sector. It should be a wake-up call to Kenyans, that if the government has failed 2 months down the line, they have not fulfilled their commitment, then how sure are we that they're going to implement the PBO Act? The situation in Kenya today, the Gen Zs are demonstrating, and the demonstrations are being broken, being violently broken. Yet the PBO Act talks about the freedom of assembly, freedom of expression. That tells you the importance of the PBO Act in even addressing the issues that are happening now, because the PBOs are about public benefit. And that's why we are saying as a sector that we don't have confidence with the current authority, we don't have confidence with the current federation, and the CS needs to wake up and ensure that they fulfill their obligations as per.
We are living in an era of a confusion, a confused government. So the CS Interior will say, I do not have a direct legal mandate on how to facilitate the movement of the PBOs to the new era. The reason is an executive order cannot usurp an act of parliament. So there is a problem there that has to be sorted out. But this is a problem that ought to have been sorted out a long time ago, because this is a president issuing an order, executive order, repealing the executive order that was issued in 2018. The president has not done so, so that the executive, the CS Interior can be free now and allow the Department of Planning to start working with the PBOs. The president must seize this opportunity, issue an executive order, repealing the executive order that was issued in 2018, so that the PBOs can be in their appropriate place, which is the Department of Planning, as per the Act. The National PBOs Consortium sent a letter to the president on the same. The president has not acted on it. We even wrote to the CS Interior seeking clarifications on the location of the PBOs. He hasn't responded. That tells you something. As the JZs are demonstrating the street because of unresponsiveness of the government, we as the PBO sector, we are actually victims of that unresponsive government. Because if you can send a government a letter, doesn't respond, you can send a president a letter, doesn't respond, it means the disconnection and unresponsiveness of a government to the people. The bodies that has been established by the Act, and in this case we mean specifically the authority, does not seem to understand that it moved away from being a board to an authority under a new law. This act came into operation. The Constitution is very specific. Any act of parliament that is passed and it had been unsettled to and becomes a law, if it is not taken back to parliament, that act within 14 days automatically becomes a law. For the purpose of clarity, that is what happened with the you saw it during the finance bill. The president had to send the finance bill with a memorandum. What happened with the PBO Act is that once it was passed and the parliament and then it was assented by the former president Kibaki, then that act within 14 days automatically became the law. It became the law because it was not repealed, basically. We do not have regulations. We do not have a proper constituted federation, right? We have not had any communication from either the CS or the federation or the authority. So who is doing what? When he asked the authority, where are the draft regulations? They said we are still consulting. And without, I cannot tell you, without because the regulations are what you call the practical. They give practical effects to the act itself. They give clarity in terms of the mandate of the authority, the mandate of the federation, the mandate of the CS. It sets the procedures and the rules on how most things will be done.
Kwa kusema kweli, kwa sasa kuna giza tele. Tunaomba kuwa na nuru tuhusishwe. Tunaomba tuwe washikadau katika ile mipango ambayo iko mbele yote. Wakati tunaambiwa tujisajili mara nyingine, tunaona kwamba sio haki. Tunaomba tuendelee na vile tulikuwa tunaendelea, na ndio diposa hata kazi ambaye imekuwa itekelezwa hata huduma zote ziendelee. Manake tukiambiwa tujisajili tena, tunaona huo ni ulaghai kabisa. Tunaona tunahitajika kutoa fedha nyingi ambayo haitakuwa accountable, na ili kwamba ile hazina hatujui mahali nataka kupelekwa, manake tayari tumekuwa kwa mikakati yote ambayo imekuwa ikifanywa, na sasa tunataka tuhusishwe, na tunabudi kujitolea kung'ang'ania haki yetu na haki ya wale ambao tunawakilisha. Tumechoka sana kugandamizwa, tumechoka kubaguliwa, tumechoka hata kutohusishwa kwa mambo mengi.